is the cause of these delays?
Well, that all depends how far you want to go back. But let's go back just to the start of 2020, when the UK had by far the best aviation industry in Europe. Fantastic airlines, British Airways, Jet2, EasyJet, the main base of operations for Ryanair. We got better value, better safety, wider horizons than any other nation in the UK. Then COVID kicked in, and of course it affected airlines right across the world, right across Europe, but the UK, because it had more stringent travel restrictions and more rapidly changing rules, and bear in mind that this time a year ago we just finished a kind of 5-month complete close down of overseas trips. The aviation industry was on its knees, at times going to 5% of where it had been. And you can't go from 5% to 100% immediately, not least because so many great people have been lost from the business.
Yeah, I just think, you know, as a punter, really, when it comes to airports, you know, they need to get a grip, don't they? I understand that there are issues, don't get me wrong, but, like, you know, it is a business at the end of the day, but it's also more than that. It's a representation of Britain. When people come here, you know, and they see travel chaos, right, they don't want to come back.
No, and we've had Patricia Yates, the Chief Executive of Visit Britain, saying the last thing that this country needs is depictions of airport chaos because it puts people off, which is absolutely the case. But the trouble is, and lots of people, including the government, are extremely angry with the airlines and the airports for failing to effectively staff up. But I'm talking to the airports, the airlines, to recruitment consultants, and they're saying, well, I'm sorry to mention it, Brexit. And that's had two effects. Directly, a lot of Europeans who previously worked in travel have simply left and gone home. Obviously, COVID had something to do with that as well. But crucially, a lot of aviation people who you might think the airlines and the airports could just call back, well, they have got jobs. They're British staff, but they've got jobs working in the jobs previously filled by EU workers. And so, therefore, there simply are too many vacancies and not enough applicants. And they're talking about, you know, that typically an applicant might have 3 or 4 job offers, so they can just pick the one they want, or they simply don't even bother turning up for the interview.
Do you not have to just pay them what they're worth?
Well, of course, and that will be the solution. Absolutely right. You know, throwing money at the problem, and the airlines and airports are incentivised to do that. EasyJet, for instance, just on the 240 pre-planned cancellations it's doing this week to and from Gatwick, that's £10 million purely in cash compensation, let alone the extra costs of hotels, finding flights on other airlines and so on. So they want to sort out the problem, and I think that money is going to be the only way to do it.
And of course, the airlines aren't the only in the travel news. They're not the only thing going around at the moment. We've also got the railways, people potentially facing disruptions there due to strikes. Where are we at the moment with that?
Oh, I was so hoping you wouldn't ask, because I'm trying to be cheerful. We've got a Jubilee weekend coming up. Right, OK, voice of travel doom. So there are going to be strikes on Saturday and Sunday, but only First Transpennine Express. And so that will affect people, certainly between Liverpool, Manchester and Glasgow, Edinburgh. You can use your tickets on other trains. That's all that's happening over the Jubilee weekend. As from Monday, the 6th of June, then the strikes start on the London Underground. The RMT union is also talking about a stoppage beginning sometime in mid-June, which would be a nationwide strike. So, of course, everybody wants to avoid that. But the unions, well, I've never seen them so cross. Well, not for about 30 years anyway. And they are simply saying, no, we worked all the way through COVID. We kept everybody going. We now want wage increases in line with inflation. So that will be quite challenging. And on top of that, of course, they don't want any variation in their terms and conditions at exactly the same time as rail revenue has fallen off a cliff, and so the government is thinking, well, hang on, people aren't buying tickets anymore, what are we going to do? So it's an almighty muddle, I think is the polite way of putting it.
It is, Simon. Look, thank you so much. I must say, genuinely, you're probably one of my favourite guests, absolutely. Yeah, I love having you on. Love having you on. Yeah, you are absolutely spot on. Thank you very much.
Even when you're delivering bad news.
Well, yes, you could. I would like you to exclusively deliver. You could be my doctor, actually, and I'd just feel fine. You go, you've got 4 months to live, and I'd walk out there with a smile on my face. Yeah. Simon Calder, thank you very, very much for joining us, Travel Guru.
Welcome Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.